Hi, team. We have been working on our GLAD strategies, and last week Pamela taught us about observational charts and how you can use observational charts to help focus and motivate our students. During this time of distant learning, she also taught us that we can use a Padlet to help motivate kiddos to get excited about the next content area that you'll be studying, or a story, or just pretty much any lesson you could use an observational chart for. So we use the observational chart today to help focus some thoughts and predictions about what a story, an upcoming story, could be about. And now I'm going to show you the next strategy that you could use with your students to help introduce some academic language, and also to help them organize their thoughts and their information. And also, it can provide a visual support that can stay up in your real classroom, your physical classroom. And then during this distance learning time, you could take a snapshot and email it to them. You could post it on Canvas. There's a variety of ways that the kiddos can access the input chart to help support their academic language, both orally and in their written work. So let's get started. Today I'm going to teach you how you can take a narrative story, something like My Brother Needs a Boa, and help support academic language for nonfiction reading as well. So story structure for this story is basically a fractured fairy tale. So I'm thinking of the third grade unit on fairy tales and how this could be a mentor text for both reading and writing. All right, so some of the details of a pictorial input chart, as we went over in the presentation, is that you want to have it pre-written. So obviously the students will be able to see that you've already written some things. Usually you would write it pretty light. I can see that it's showing up kind of dark here, but also in your physical classroom, you would use a big piece of chart paper or the butcher paper. And so it would be a little bit more light, and you would prepare your thinking prior to the lesson. The reasoning behind actually writing it out in front of the students and instead of having it pre-made is the process of imprinting, so brain imprinting. So as you're writing it, you're talking and the students are doing the thinking with you, and as all good teachers do, we kind of teach in the moment and lean into a variety of things. If you see a spelling pattern that you know a certain kiddo or group of students are working on, you can highlight that as you're writing. All right, so today, students, I'm going to teach you that in our story, there is a boa constrictor. And boa constrictors are brown and gray. Teachers, you do not need to be an artist for this. The whole objective of this strategy is to provide students a resource that they feel that they can access at any time. So for example, my drawings are not beautiful, but we also don't want our students to feel that in order for them to do some sketching to help organize their thinking, that theirs would need to be perfect as well. So remember, everything we do is modeling. So boa constrictors are gray in color, they are brown, they have stripes that look a little something like this. Teachers, you don't even have to finish this portion right here. So we can just get the details down for this guy. I almost made his tongue blue. Pretty sure they don't have blue tongues. Maybe they do. I'm not sure. All right. So in our story, my brother needs a boa. There's probably going to be a boa constrictor. And I don't know a lot about boa constrictors. So I did a little bit of research. I wanted to know what the boas eat. What is their diet? And how does it behave in trying to find its food? So I learned that boa constrictors actually hunt at night. And a boa constrictor also eats its prey whole. It does not chew its food. So prey is what the boa eats. It's whatever it's going to eat. So we know that it eats its prey whole. But did you know that the boa constrictor can eat a pig? It can eat birds, monkeys, and rats. A boa constrictor is a carnivore. Say it with me, carnivore. A carnivore is a meat eater. They like to eat meat in one bite. And guess what? Because the boa constrictor is eating such large prey, it only has to eat every couple weeks. So every few weeks. Oh my goodness. So we have learned the diet for the boa constrictor. And so I'm already thinking, like, where does this story take place that there's going to be a boa constrictor? And so I wanted to learn a little bit more. Teachers, you use a different pen color to help organize the information. This is a strategy that students can use in their own writing, and you can model that and also teach into that in a variety of ways. So diet, I'm making blue. And as you are learning more information, either from this book or another book, students are invited to add to this strategy, this pictorial input chart. Like, this is theirs to own. It's their learning and it's their document. All right, so teachers, I'm going to move a little bit fast just for the sake of time. Readers, I wanted to know where in the world these boa constrictors live, because we do not have monkeys here where we live. I mean, we do have rats and pigs and birds, but this clue right here, monkeys. I'm not thinking that boa constrictors live where we live. So their habitat, their home, say it with me, habitat, habitat, habitat. Their home is in the tropics. So it's a tropical climate. Say tropical. Tropical. Tropical means like warm and kind of rainy, but warm and nice. Tropical is kind of an area, if you think about maybe going on vacation, and it's like where you see palm trees. That's a tropical climate. These boa constrictors live in Central and South America. Teachers, this is when we reference the globe or the map or some kind of visual support to show them. This is setting the stage for talking about the setting of this story. So as you can see, we have multiple concepts that we can support through this the oral language process of creating this together and just teaching in the moment. Boa constrictors, they're tree dwellers. Say dwellers, dwellers. It means that boa constrictors live in the trees, but guess what? They can also be just as comfortable on the ground. And so I was kind of thinking, how do these boa constrictors actually catch their prey? Because remember, they catch them whole. And I just don't see how a snake can catch a pig. And so I did a little bit more research. And I found, teachers, I'm switching pens, I found some really interesting facts. Now, interesting facts really help me as a learner stop and think about the animal and how it behaves and what it might look like. So I found that these boa constrictors, they actually ambush. Say ambush. Yeah, ambush is a fun word because you can use it to describe a surprise attack. So boa constrictors actually ambush their prey, the things that they eat, the pigs, the birds, the monkeys. They ambush them with a surprise attack. I'm going to write surprise attack here. Surprise attack. They can do this by hiding in the leaves. So they're camouflage. Say camouflage. Camouflage. Yeah, camouflage is when you blend in with the environment that you're in. So I'm already thinking, wow, they live in the tropical climate and they can live in the trees and they can also be comfortable in the ground. So they can hide in the ground. They can be camouflaged. So now I'm understanding why boa constrictors are the color that they are, because this kind of looks like maybe a branch. These kind of look like leaves. No wonder they can have a surprise attack on their prey. All right, teachers, I'm just going to write this really quick. We would maybe talk about some of their behaviors. They can hang upside down. They can burrow down in the leaves, etc. All right, so description would be, oops, same color. Description would be a different color, probably not pink and red, and you would go through that. You can also label it, or you can have students label it. This is something that would be a live document, a live piece of work in the classroom. And it's just important that we allow students to contribute to it and that we are referencing it. Remembering that it's not necessarily the facts about the topic that we're going over, but versus a visual support for students to reference, to access the learning. So the comprehensible input. How am I creating opportunities for students to understand the story structure, the features, how to organize their thinking in order to talk about the knowledge that they have or the story that they want to put together. So as we're thinking about how we can implement the pictorial input charts, it's just important to remember a few things. It's about academic language and referencing it a lot. It's about making connections to the ongoing learning in the classroom. So now what we're going to do is work together as a team in our teams, and we are going to have a conversation about how you guys can use a pictorial input chart to support the learning in your classrooms. Thank you so much.